have said this before, Nefer, but you sure do come prepared.
Shishich, my old friend. Fill us in.
Greetings. The murder happened not long ago. No,
Entering on a...
at the moment, the most valuable lead we have is specifically that
Flint's?
we have tried to...
Very
So...
To be honest, he also had... But neither the...
Looks like there's not much else to dig up here. So, we know that this Flint's could have been Rerir in disguise, but we left. Furthermore, Flint's has left us with many questions.
Yeah! He said he would...
Let's approach the issue this way. First, we must determine our...
Yeah! What reason would Flint's have to murder Sosie?
None, as far as I know.
Yeah! They would have often gone out on missions together. Plenty of chances there.
Yes, but this means that he has been hesitant to abuse this ability, or allow it to become common knowledge. Likely so that he could act in...
But no matter what, barring identities comes with risks, right? What if you bump into the person you're imitating?
Precisely. In other words, his goal must have been worth the risk. He likely knew then that the real Flint... We'd have to ask Flint's... And there are other, less likely scenarios. For instance, Rerir may have already killed Flint's long ago, and been... Yes, that is our...
Then we've got to find him before the Lightkeepers do, or we might never see him again.
Steady now.
We've tracked him down to a beach north of Nasha Town. The Wild Hunt is... I'll have you know that this is top secret information.
Don't worry. The beach is all yours. I'll stay and slow...
Oh, right! Before we go, should we reveal Rarir's secret? Since he's trying to keep it all hush-hush. Hey!
Oh, I was just setting aside the matter of evidence. Some may trust Flint's on our account. We're tossing him into a swirling tumult of public opinion. And think about it. Once people learn that unease grips the hearts of those in...
Yeah.
Indeed. But just in case, let me stress, this light source is of special Lightkeeper design. It provides illumination within Wild Hunt anomalies and can briefly dispel...
Oh, right. We'll have to deal with that mess, too. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hey!
Fulfill our pact! Faster! Stronger!
Let's ride! What kind of guide falls behind? Whoa! The fog's really rolling in. Quick! Grab the light source! Is that a Lightkeeper's lantern? Is there someone up ahead? Come on, let's go see! Monsters!
Carving wave! Amazing! Controlled breathing! Form first! Off we go! The show begins! Get to work! Let's ride! Faster! Stronger! Step aside! Form first! Show no mercy! Sha! May I present? Let the world collide! Controlled breathing! Step aside!
This monster was lurking near the lamp. There's some... Huh? A fight took place here. Did Flint's leave these marks?
Is someone there? Please, help me!
Isn't that Flint's voice? Did you hear that? But is that really him? Ah! We'll be in trouble if these spooky shadows touch us! Quick, use the lantern!
Isos. Yamaluni katsi por ambos kalun. Besendik historien. Hand it over. That was mine from the first. Tutonine torai desnevite. You're a fool. You again.
What the? It's stronger than before. Lantern, now!
It escaped again. This situation speaks for itself, I presume.
So, you were tangling.
So, that vile phantom hiding inside the wild hunt.
Yeah, you don't look so good.
Sorry you had to see me like this. All the same, you have my sins. To think you had the... Might I ask what magic that was? And an enviable constitution it is. A pity that such abilities cannot be acquired.
Why did abyssal power just burst out of your lantern anyway?
That is a long story. Many moons ago, when I sensed a power surging within it that was at... I freely... Afterwards, I wound up collecting a few... It was only recently that they began slowly emitting abyssal energy, which could neither be...
Is that what...
I concur, but I noticed while engaging him that the crystal fragment would restrict my powers. Alas, he has proved most fixated upon this fragment. And for some reason, his strength has grown by leaps and bounds since I last encountered him. And where, might I ask, would it be safe? Or do you think it wiser I threw it away? Were our places switched, would you discard it? Knowing that its perilous might was beyond your ability to counteract, yet capable of causing greater harm.
Yeah, throwing it away would mean giving the bad guy what he wants. But...
Only those who shoulder... Either way, I imagine this wasn't the only reason you came looking for me, though.
Well, no, but...
Ah. To use the Lightkeepers to find me, I suspect. They alone have the ability to quickly pinpoint my position. Our sergeant they usually don't pay my whereabouts much mind unless they...
You mean this?
Yes. Where did you pick this up?
We found it inside a...
It must belong to a Ratnik.
Guess it's not surprising.
Were he to you...
Ah,
So not only is this Rerir ruthless, but a purveyor. You might not be... Our deployments are subject to orders from headquarters. He worked so hard.
oh,
But every year they would say, in truth, everyone, the higher-ups would think, whereas his so he waited. One that has played out many times throughout history. Another reason.
oh.
And yet, what did the Sergeant Major have to do with any of this? Why did he have to die?
Could Rarer be angry that...
Could you take me to the scene of the crime? We shall just have to exercise some
as a flash!
I understand the situation more or less. Either way, I suppose we were lucky not to receive a...
Yeah. Guess Nasha Town's already been enough of a mess lately.
Let's stop here. Any further and the Ratniki might detect us. Since you two can enter, I'll have to request that you kindly pick me up once you're inside.
Oh? And how are we supposed to do that?
You'll know when the time comes. See you later.
Still acting all mysterious. But he seemed pretty confident, so guess we've gotta trust him. Hello?
Ah, you're the special assistants for this investigation, right?
Yep, that's us.
Well, you're just in time. We're basically done investigating the crime scene. All that's left is to finish writing up some records. Then properly dispose of Sergeant Major Sosi's remains. If there's anything else you'd like to look into, this is your last chance to do so. Sadly, no. The motive behind the killing remains a mystery. And while we somehow managed to get news of Flint's, an unexpected accident caused us to miss him. But considering that Nefer from the Curatorium of Secrets came forward to help investigate, I have no doubt that a breakthrough's not far off.
We'll do our part too. All right, we're going in. See you later. Phew, we're in. Thanks to Nefer's reputation, once again. But we still know nothing about how Flint's is gonna enter, or how we'll pick him up. Never mind how we'll leave later on. Something the matter? Huh. That looks like Flint's lantern. But where is he exactly? Well, we've got the lantern. What now? Oh, Paimon almost screamed out loud. You never said you could do magic like that.
This lantern may have a rather peculiar shape, but so long as it doesn't glow, it won't stand out in the dark. I calculated that you would have already entered, so I chose a spot visible from the window before using light to send you a signal. As I thought, you're both sharp-eyed and on the ball.
The perks of being veteran.
Your composure is more impressive still. You're right. That required a little trick of my own. But let us leave such trivial topics for a more relaxed moment. Our time is limited after all. Just as I thought. Come, try sensing it yourself. Identical powers must flow from the same source. It was the Wild Hunt, then, that took my form and killed the Sergeant Major. But why do this?
To sow chaos by depriving the Lightkeepers of one of their commanders?
If the Wild Hunt's true form is powerful enough to stand against the world as you claim, I fear not even the full force of Lightkeepers could stand against him, let alone the handful of us stationed in Noshatown. He would have no reason whatsoever to pick quarrels with individual ants. Let's look again more closely. Well, that makes things simpler. In that case, allow me to disturb the fallen. May the ghost flame guide your spirit. May you rest in peace. When we fought, he seemed like quite a reckless foe.
Oh, if we can't get any lead. Oh. You mean this?
I'm not well versed in machinery, but that means his mechanical arm is malfunctioning, right?
No, that's not right. Paimon remembers this signal. We saw it before while repairing the cannon. It doesn't mean that the components are damaged. It just means that they're due for regular maintenance, so the device is stopped up. But the real problem is that... Yeah, he even helped us find the maintenance port. It could still be a coincidence, but considering it hasn't been long at all...
The Sosi you met could have been Rerir in disguise.
That's right! If only there were some way to prove it.
You mean Hintsa?
We had a short chat with him once at the tavern, but it's so late. Guess it'll have to wait till tomorrow.
I know where he lives. The situation is critical, so let us now take up the role of uninvited guests ourselves. Ah, yes. And one more thing. Remember to pick me up by the window.
Oh, it's you two. And Flint's. Given the hour, I guess it must be an emergency.
It is indeed. Our sincerest apologies for interrupting your rest. We are investigating a certain matter in connection with Sergeant Major Sosi. We'd like to know if he has sent you a request for maintenance to be performed on his mechanical arm.
Sosi. Oh, so the rumors I heard, are they true? You know what? Forget it. I'm sure it's complicated. No further questions from me. Just a moment. I need to check my records.
Thank you for your understanding.
Got it. 8 days ago, he came to request a round of regular maintenance. But as it happened, I had run out of the required components. His mechanical arm is especially sophisticated, having been designed by Aino personally. The parts, too, could only be made by her. As such, they usually take several days to arrive. In fact, this time, he even asked me if we could push his request forward. And I understood, completely. Not being able to use your hand, that's rough for anyone. But even more so if your job involves fighting out in the wild. So I did my best to convince Ino to rush the job. And eventually, the parts arrived. 3 days ago, if I remember correctly. I sent word to the Lightkeepers immediately, but he never showed up. I assumed he was just out on some mission or other. What's with those faces? Everything all right?
You've provided us with some very crucial information, Hintsa. You have our thanks. We can't make everything public yet, but once our investigation is complete, I will return to thank you and provide an explanation on behalf of all the Lightkeepers.
No worries. Just glad I could help.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night. Hope the investigation goes well.
It seems that it is as we guessed. The Sergeant Major Sosi you encountered while repairing the cannon was actually Rerir in disguise. 8 days ago, he had yet to act. But at some point after that, he attacked and imprisoned the Sergeant Major. With the immense gap in strength between them, the job was finished in a single blow. And thus Rerir had no opportunity to discover the malfunctioning. Perhaps his mastery of shapeshifting extends only to outward form, and not therefore to complex internal mechanisms. Hence his oversight of the uniquely mechanical traits of the Sergeant Major's arm, and in turn, this flaw in his disguise.
You're saying he thought no one would realize his mechanical arm was actually made of some kind of black muck on the inside, so long as it worked, right? Still seems like there's a lot of guesswork involved here, but...
This also has me stumped for the moment. The cannon has always been used to destroy the Wild Hunt, and it works as intended. But how would that help Rerir exactly? Assuming he plans to collect the fragments within Wild Hunt anomalies, firing the cannon works against him, since it would blast those fragments to smithereens.
So we solved one mystery, only to dig up another. Whew. This is getting Paimon kind of down. And...
Yes, I'd say it is high time we took a break. Seems like there's a lot left to investigate. We'll have to fight Rerir eventually. And we'll do a poor job if we're not well rested.
Yeah, we should totally get some sleep first.
A reasonable suggestion. I have no doubt that my quarters have been turned inside out by now, at any rate. My colleagues have never failed to live up to my expectations of their discourtesy.
Well, guess we'll just have to pick you up as usual.
That would be good, yes. Feel free to put the room costs on my tab.
Phew, back inside. We can finally take a breather. Okay, Paimon. In and out.
I suppose we could all take a moment to unwind. As I recall, our first meeting took place not far from here. Ah, the nostalgia. Had you already sensed the unique power within my lantern at that time? I see. Words truly do. Fortunate then that abyssal energy was only leaking from the fragment in minuscule.
Yeah, hard to say how that would have played out. We've had a whole bunch of unpleasant run-ins with the Abyss.
You mean to ask why I'm going this far to oppose him? Well...
Yeah! You're covered in more mysteries than Paimon could shake a skewer at. You can't just get out of explaining yourself by making lame excuses.
All right. I suppose I do owe you. Your deductions have been quite. You know humans well. And naturally, you understand their limits. But some things that humans would consider difficult are quite normal in the eyes of non-humans.
So, you mean you're one of the latter?
Have you heard of how Snezhnaya was once the realm of the Fae? This race is no longer of any importance. But they still exist. As evidenced by the fact that I am standing before you.
We've heard some scattered legends, but that's all Paimon thought there was to it.
I once turned my heart toward humanity, and thus did I experience loss. I once labored and did much, and put an end to my tale with my own hands. When you realize you are floating in the middle of a vast ocean, you cannot help but feel that swimming in any direction would be equally meaningless. Would it not be better, then, to simply sink? But before I could sink to truly lightless depths, chance had it that I should be awakened by a band of Ratniki. They were facing a horde of abyssal monsters, and could not last against such a disparity in strength. Yet none fled. Those who dwell in darkness for long enough become exceedingly sensitive to all light. And the first light I saw upon awakening was that which shone from their eyes.
Is that why you chose to help them?
Perhaps I was moved by their valor. Perhaps I simply saw my past self in them, and was moved to action for the first time in a long, long while. But I was freshly awoken, and my powers were limited. I could not prevent casualties altogether. The survivors and I buried the fallen heroes. That was the origin of the final night cemetery. Well, not exactly. I was just more familiar with them. So joining up seemed the most convenient way to experience human life.
Doesn't sound too believable.
Well, I believe it. Besides, I'm well past the age when one might believe in things that must be done. Nonetheless, there are still some things I will not allow to happen. The chaos that Rerir has been stirring up is one of them. Tomorrow I shall go and check our records to see if I can find any connection between the Wild Hunt, Rerir, and the Cannon.
Will you need us to get you where you need to be?
Oh, I'll be fine. I keep a backup copy at my residence in case of emergencies.
Can you even go back there right now? Won't there be Ratniki watching it?
Thanks for the reminder. I believe they'll have checked my place, but they won't have stayed. All things are ranked according to their priority, and we lack the manpower for such an open. And even if someone is waiting, I have ways around that. I am the master of my own house, after all.
All right then, we'll trust you.
I didn't take you for the cautious sort. Anyway, I hope you'll help me keep this a secret.
Paimon's lips are sealed too.
All right.
Finally, we can rest. Let's go get some sleep. There's tons to do tomorrow.
Where's Flint's? Is he here, or isn't he?
We would be most obliged if you would pipe down a little, dear guest. Our other guests are resting.
Resting? We're all about to be done for, and you're talking about Flint's is a wild hunt shapeshifter, here to deceive us all! If we don't get rid of him now, there'll be no end to this!
You'd better give him up. If anything happens, your business here is done for. You want that, huh?
Or are you in cahoots with him? You with the wild hunt?
What happened? Did something leak out? But we were so careful last night. How did anyone see us? What do you mean? Duh! This is so confusing! What do we do? It's not like all the unusual stuff. Okay!
Hey! Let us in!
My apologies.
Hold on! Come!
What into that is the meaning of this racket? Are you intent on depriving both the boss? Do we really have to entertain people who don't respect the rules? Call a few of your boys and have them thrown out.
And what hole did you crawl out of?
A watering hole, of course. The one you've just disturbed. Who'd have guessed people like you would come bursting in, shrieking louder than any ghoul?
This is a matter of utmost importance. We've got solid evidence. Oh, exactly. And you sure don't look like an impartial party either, Nefer.
Oh, don't I now? How about this then, boss? Let them do their search. If they find their man, they can have their little chat. But if they don't, then they owe everyone here an apology, as well as compensation for all the racket they've caused.
Wait! It's...
All right. I suppose that's the only way. If we don't let them in now, they'll be back sooner or later.
Oh. Alright then.
Well,
Come on, everyone! Move!
No sign of Flint's.
But how can that be?
done searching, are we? Guess it's time to uphold your end of the bargain, huh? So, Paimon, you've been waiting to ask me something, haven't you?
Yeah, how did they even find us here?
My inside man with the Lightkeepers informed me that you paid the crime scene a late-night visit. I surmise that you must have rendezvoused with Flint's and obtained some new information. Then, early this morning, a group of people, everyone started throwing out the names of possible suspects, and amidst it all, Flint's name started gaining more and more traction. I'm sure his solitary lifestyle may have played a part.
So...
And that's where I, Yehoda, the quick-witted, fleet-footed backbone of the Curatorium, got my chance to shine. While everyone was super focused on the argument in the main hall, I alone noticed an opening.
I got her to climb up to a window to help Flint's out, only for her to return with nothing but a lantern.
Aw, come on, pause. I was just getting started.
We initially intended to bring Flint's back to the Curatorium and wait those people out, but I never expected this to be all that was left. I imagine, though, that he wouldn't have left something that was so seemingly important to him behind.
Might he intend to come back and get it later? Maybe. I'm not sure.
Well, he's out of harm's way now, so that's not super important, right?
Oh?
What Paimon means to say is, we got lots of new intel to share.
All right, then. Let's have this discussion over at my place. I see. So Flint...
Is he gonna be okay now that he's on his own again?
Earlier, he said that the fragment had gone still, so it's probably of no use to Rare.
In that case, Rerir shouldn't have any reason to keep pursuing him, right? So was all that ruckus back at the flagship just an act of spite? Or what?
If I were him, I would have simply turned my attention to collecting other fragments.
A reasonable course of action. Remember what we heard back at the tavern? The actual number of Wild Hunt anomalies destroyed has been greater than Lightkeeper records would indicate. Some of these must have been Rerir's doing. He must have been seeking more fragments.
This much is pretty easy to understand, but why would he pretend to be Soci and put so much effort into getting the cannon up and running again?
Maybe 'cause that'd be more efficient than having to clear anomalies himself?
Yeah, I'm confident. Oh, why don't we find a few of those fragments ourselves and use Kuvaki to carry out a
Our lab could certainly accommodate such a test.
In other words, we gotta destroy a couple of anomalies and collect fragments from them, right?
Lightkeeper operations have just about ceased following the Sergeant Major's passing. Meanwhile, the Wild Hunt continues to grow in scale by the day. I fear only we can keep the situation under control now.
Then we best act fast. Paimon's got a bad feeling about this.
A feeling we all share, I'm afraid.
There are 3 Wild Hunt sites that must be dealt with urgently.
Works for me. Enough and I will take our workshop assistants to deal with one.
The curatorium will...
And we, Frostmoons...
Paimon didn't think she'd ever get to see everyone here
Never mind you. This is a...
Let's head out then. We'll meet back up at my lab with the...
Understood.
Time is of the essence.
Gotcha! Stay safe, everyone.
Huh. Anyone seen the lantern?
Well, considering what you said earlier, you know where we're going next, right?